I could not bend over 1 inch after the surgery. It felt like someone took cement, poured cement into my back, let it harden, and said, good luck, Jordan. So I tell them all this, I'm like, it'll get better. It'll get better. You got to do rehab. You got to do rehab. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months goes by. This shit is not getting better. By this point, so like to present day, I'm 185. I went from 185. So from when I hurt my disc a year prior to 6 weeks, 3 months after surgery, I dropped 40 pounds. So I was down to 145. People asked me if I had cancer. They said I looked very sick, which, by the way, I looked horrible. Like, I looked very frail and very sick. Yeah. And unfortunately, my medical team completely dropped me. They made no effort to help me. They offered another surgery, all this bullshit stuff. So fast forward from that, I was in a very dark place. 2020 is a close second for the worst year of my life, but I was extremely, extremely depressed, very suicidal, just really in a horrible place. Like, it even hurts to think about just how rough of a time I was having. So 2019, I realized, cool, this medical team's not going to help me. And I start doing rehab on my own. I joined a gym, and my goal was every week, if I can chip away at this cement in my lower back, I just want to get this range of motion back. 18 months of rehab, it worked really well. I probably put back on 30 pounds, started working out again, not the same athlete, but really getting much happier, healthier, sleeping better. Proposed to my now wife in 2019. Like, life's really coming up. I see the other side. I'm like, oh my God. Number one, I'm really glad I never did anything too serious to myself, because it was like, man, there was definitely, just because in the dark times, you can't see a way out. And then let's see.
I was just going to ask you, what's something you've learned about yourself going through that, now looking back, that you didn't think you had in you at the time, as confident, as badass as you are?
It learned that my confidence and my value came from my physical attributes and my athleticism and my strength. So here's another fun fact. I was always really, really small and short and tiny growing up. I had a 10-inch growth spurt in high school. It was fucking crazy. I grew rapidly in like a year and a half. But I was always made fun of, not bullied in like, oh my gosh, I'm bullied, my life was really hard kind of way, but like, hey, Jordan's the short kid. What could the girls would say, when you're older and taller, we'll date you. Like, you're just a cute little kid right now. And it's one of the reasons I started martial arts, because I never wanted to feel weak. I always wanted to be able to defend myself and fight back. And I did that. I built myself into a weapon, to where, like, when you walk around, because it's a balance between cockiness and confidence, but when you train long enough and you fight enough people, you start walking around, you're like, no, if I got in a real situation, like, I could fuck somebody up. Like, I could really, really hurt someone and do damage to multiple people at once and not be afraid. Like, once you start walking around with no fear, it's a kind of a dangerous thing. So once I hurt myself and people started criticizing me, saying I was weak. I mean, guys, I got to the point where, like, a toddler could come in and rob me. Like, there's nothing I could have done about that. So who are you when you're not strong? Who are you when you can't look in the mirror? Who are you when you feel like shit every day? And that's what I learned about myself. Whereas I had an ego that was revolving around my athleticism and my body. And I had to kill that guy. I had to destroy that and rebuild myself into someone else. And I wish I could say it got better from there, but honestly, it got a lot worse. When 2020 rolled around, let's see, COVID happened. You guys remember April 2020, the world shuts down. Unfortunately, we had a really tragic, just horrible situation. My uncle committed suicide very publicly.